Hi, friends. It's Michelle Ladd with National Veteran Resources, and today I'm with my veteran friend Gary.
Hello.
And Gary and I met. I'm here at the campground that Dan invited me to at Leisurewood Recreation Community
Community, yes.
in Akron, New York.
Yes.
And I was so honored to be able to meet so many veterans while I was here. I got to hear their stories, and Gary came in his golf cart with security,
Yep.
the wording security on it. And I think you saw me a couple weeks ago, you said?
Yes, when you first came in, I saw you, but you were just surrounded
I
by
was
people.
surrounded. I know I had like 30 people surrounding the RV. And so he heard I was coming back. So after I was Friday 12 to 4, I was set up at the park and I got to talk to all the veterans coming through. And he came to the campsite and introduced himself, and I showed him around the RV, and
Mm-hmm.
you said the nicest things to me.
Meant them all.
And so I asked him a little bit about, his background, and I found out he's a Navy veteran. So I asked him to come back and speak with me. So today he brought his lovely wife, Marianne, right?
Correct. Yes.
And they sat with me, and Gary shared his story with me, and they are so kind. They asked what they could do to help me. They are both home during the day, and they're here at the campground over the summer, and then they travel to Texas.
Yeah, Texas, we just travel during the wintertime to warmer climates.
Which is so fun. I'm having a lot of fun meeting the full-time RVers and what they do during the wintertime. And I think I'm going to be experiencing that pretty soon.
I hope so. I hope so. We're working on that. We're working on that. We'll get you there.
These guys are gonna. So they volunteered to help me, and I said I'm just juggling so many things. I don't even know what I need help with. And Marianne's was in HR, and you were in IT.
Mm-hmm.
He's watched almost all of my videos on YouTube.
Yes. Yes.
On RV Hero Gypsy. So if you want to see some of my other videos, you can go to RV Hero Gypsy.
It's a great channel.
Thanks. He wonders why I only have 128 subscribers.
I
So
know.
tell him.
Subscribe. Listen to these. These are great stories.
Thank you. So, Gary, you served in the Navy. How many years?
5 years in the Navy, and then I got medically discharged.
That's right. And so, Gary shared with me today that for 30 years he's been suffering with what he actually didn't know what it was for 25 years, really. You probably were ignoring the signs and.
Oh yes, yeah, yeah. And if I just needed to man up and I'd be okay. That got to be do the manly man thing. And every day was a struggle. That every day was reliving my trauma multiple times a day. That chronic pain all the time, and constant thoughts of suicide.
Constant.
Oh yes, yeah. Yeah. It very rarely did they ever leave the forefront of my mind. I try to push them down, try to push them back, but they're always there. And each day I would have to try to find a reason just to get up, and make it through that day. And at night I'd lay down to sleep, and the nightmares would start, and then then all the thoughts of the trauma and everything would just be there all the time. I could just see something, and all of a sudden I'm right back there. The sights, the sounds, the smells. I'm just right there, and it's hard to describe to somebody that doesn't know about these things what it's like to go through that, because they just don't get it. that, oh, that's happened to you, just, get over it. It's not something to get over. It's not something you can do. And so, I mean, I had severe depression, and fortunately for me, I did not have any suicide attempts. I had lots of plans. Each time I came up with a plan, I came up with a reason not to do it.
Praise God
Yes.
that you didn't.
And so after, um, 25 years, I'm watching television. They're having an advertisement on there for people with PTSD, and they go down to symptoms: anxiety, depression, um, everything. And I'm going, this is me. This is, this is what I'm suffering with. It, so I made an appointment with my doctor. Well, I had an appointment with my doctor. And for years I thought that if I were to talk to somebody about what's going on inside my head, they would lock me up and throw away the key. Because it wasn't a pretty place in there. It was, it was very dark, and a lot of bad thoughts, and that I honestly thought that I was crazy. That come to find out I'm not. That so I went to my doctor, and I got and told him, says, I'm tired of fighting. I think I'm coming to the place where I'm going to start losing the fight. That I'm just worn out, and so they got me to see somebody with in the VA system, and he diagnosed me with the PTSD, and then they got me in to see a psychologist who got me on some medication that helped with the nightmares and all that stuff. And I started the first time I took the medication, I actually slept through the night for the first time in like 25 years. You have no idea how good that feels, just to sleep. Just to sleep. I didn't even know it was that bad. Because I just accepted that was my life. This was going to be my life for the rest of my life. And there was no hope of it getting any better than it was. Before that I'd have I would say I'd have angry outbursts, argumentative outbursts for my wife, get real snappy with her, and try to argue with her, just get really nasty, verbally, not, and that's not who I am, that person is foreign to me, I've never been that way, but, over the years I've just got worn down enough where I just was becoming somebody I didn't want to be. And so that I got some help finally. And the doctors were really good with me about treating me with it, getting to see some counseling, and realizing that I'm not alone. That I do want to kind of backtrack a little bit, and some of the things that I was going through was I would have anxiety attacks, and people say, well, what triggers your anxiety attack? And the answer to that is nothing. Nothing triggers it. It just all of a sudden will happen for no reason. I mean, I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning with an anxiety attack. I had no idea why. That I thought I was having a heart attack. My wife called the ambulance and everything, and they came back and just gave me a paper bag and said, we're taking you to the hospital. that just breathe. So they took me to the VA hospital and they hooked me to all the heart monitors and everything and said, no, your heart's fine. You have other problems. So, so, and,
I can't imagine suffering with what you suffered for 25 years. I can't tell you how many men and women that I've talked to that 10, 20, 30 years, they never went to seek help. They just suffered. And that's just got to be maddening to you.
yeah, there's no reason for in this day and age for people to suffer like I did. I mean, uh, there's so when I was first going through it, PTSD wasn't a word that was used very often.
Right.
So that the only things that people would tell you is just you know suck it up, stick it up, man up, and that's what you would get is that, and then in that culture, it would amplify that when you're gonna go get help when you're a wimp, yada yada, and it's not, the culture has changed, and for a great deal of it, it needs, there's a long ways to go. At these a lot of these kids coming over from Afghanistan and Iraq, I mean, they need our help desperately. And they still, I mean, a lot of them still feel like they're bulletproof when they're that young, and they can handle anything on their own.
Mm.
That I've seen people come back from Afghanistan and places, and that they need the help, and I've seen them get the help. That's the most important thing. Is that there are sources out there to help them. That and they don't have to suffer the way I did.
That's a good message. You don't have to suffer. There are resources out there.
Yes, there are.
There are people that really do care.
Yes.
And if you had a veteran sitting here in front of you that's started to see some of these symptoms, what would you tell them to do? First thing, what should they do?
They should contact their primary care provider and get in to see a mental or behavioral health specialist.
Through the VA or through their primary care?
They can go either place. I mean, I went through the VA, but wherever they can get their help is where they need to go. If they get their health care from an outside provider, just tell your provider what you need,
Mm-hmm.
and they will direct you in the direction that you need to go. Most of our veterans, they can get their behavioral health at little or no cost through the VA. So and they are very experienced in dealing with PTSD and that they're doing wonderful things in this area. I know with PTSD, and that it's amazing. And so I personally recommend the VA for that. They did wonders for me. So, but I use them for all my health care. I'm very, very happy with them.
Are you in Buffalo?
Yes.
Buffalo. I've heard Buffalo VA is very good.
Yes, they're really good. I also Batavia also has been good. That's where the big PTSD centers is in Batavia.
Yes, I've heard that.
And I went to be interviewed. They have an inpatient program.
Sorry, we're getting hot, aren't we?
Oh, that's okay.
I had to turn the AC off so you could hear us because the AC is so darn loud in here.
Yeah. But they have an inpatient program up there.
Yes.
And I interviewed for it with them to see if I needed that, and they said, not so much. so I can manage with the medications and things. And my wife can tell when I'm not taking my medication properly.
Oh boy.
Good, Gary, go take your pill.
Do you, so 5 years, you've been diagnosed for 5 years. Today, how are you feeling?
I feel great today.
I'm so glad to hear that.
It's my life is changed 180 degrees. I do have my bad days.
Right.
We all do. But the suicidal thoughts aren't nearly as prevalent. I can't say they have gone away entirely, but they're instead of forefront, they're on the back burner, which is a better place for them to be. I see these heroes that you have up on your RV here, and I hear their stories, and I'm just so motivated to keep on hearing them. These guys are so experienced some very horrific injuries, and their attitudes are just so wonderful.
So he's talking about Bobby Henline and Tom McCrae, who are featured on the back of my RV, and they've been through some really awful things. And Bobby and Tom, if you're watching this, you have no idea how many thousands and thousands of veterans and first responders and just us civilians that you are inspiring. And he saw their reveals, the videos that I did with their reveals and their attitudes towards seeing the RV, the back of the RV for the first time, if you guys ever saw that. So I'm glad that you see guys like that have really had some such physical challenges, but their mental state of mind, and they both told me they have their days too.
Yeah.
But they can be so inspirational, right?
Yes, they can be, and they are.
They are. You guys rock.
Yes.
I hope to see them again soon. So I'm really glad that you shared. We were just talking about PTSD and what you guys can do if you're feeling stress, anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts. Get to the VA.
There's a hotline, the suicide hotline.
Mm-hmm.
Use it. We got to stop losing 22 a day. We got to stop that. There's always hope. And until the deed's done, there's always hope.
Do you know what my message is? Never give up hope or faith.
Right.
Never give up hope or faith.
Nope, never give up.
Never give up. And that's my message. And together, we can all make a difference if we just share a little bit of a message, a little bit of love, a little bit of kindness. Do your buddy checks.
Yes.
Do your buddy checks. And is there anything before we end this video that you would like to say to a struggling man or woman? And it could be anybody that served from World War II right on up.
Oh, just to never give up. Never give up. There's always hope. Always hope and faith.
And you remember that.
No, I do.
Always remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And now you got my private cell phone number.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're ever having a dark day, you know who to call, right?
I do.
Okay.
I do. And you'll regret that.
Oh. And I'll kick your butt if I hear any differently. And now I got your wife's phone number too.
Find mine.
I know. I got yours. I got your wife's number. All right. Well, listen, thank you so much.
No problem.
And together we're going to make a difference.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
And you're going to help me get a new RV.
Yes, we got some great ideas for new RVs.
Because I'm driving this hunk of junk and I'm getting ready to leave my tour in about 2 weeks. Yikes.
We're working on that.
He saw the damage. I showed him a little bit of what's going on here, but it's okay. God's got me. Woo woo.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. So we got some great ideas.
Can't wait to hear him. All right, we're going to say goodbye. Thanks.
Bye. Thank you.
God bless. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and share these videos. We're going to make a difference.